This video is sponsored by Rovio Entertainment. What's going on, YouTube? Claykeysalt back again with another video, and in today's video, we're talking about the unit of choice ticket. I want to talk about when you should be spending it. Maybe you're hoarding them too much. I know they're a very valuable item, but I want to make sure you guys are enjoying it and getting the fullest out of your UoC, especially with Axstar on the horizon. So before we get into this video, I do need to say it is sponsored by Angry Birds 2. Thank you so much, Angry Birds 2, for sponsoring this video, and now let's show a little bit about Angry Birds 2 and why you should download it. So you guys have probably already heard all about Angry Birds, and if you haven't, we're going to show some gameplay here. Angry Birds 2 is the sequel to that game. Slingshot gameplay where you take your little birds, they're against the pigs, you're trying to blow them up, kind of like a puzzle, gotta figure it out, knock all the piggies down, but Angry Birds 2 takes it to a new level. We have a card system where you guys can cast different spells to make sure you guys can take down the piggies. There's a whole arena system where you can battle against other players. There are even boss pigs to fight in the game, and they've also even amped it up even more with this cool hat system. Now, speaking of this hat system, you guys will go up into the hat shop, and this is where you guys can collect these cool looking hats to make your birds look even cooler. You guys can obtain these in the Tower of Fortune, which is something we're going to talk about in a minute, or you can buy them with in-game currency that you guys can earn. Not only does it make your birds look even more sweet, if you collect the sets, they make your slingshots more powerful, your birds more powerful, allowing you to hit harder and do cooler things. And now we want to move on to show a little bit of the Tower of Fortune. The Tower of Fortune is this cool little game where you go in there, they'll show you a select number of cards, you pick one, you get a reward. Sometimes you can get a hat like you see here, or sometimes you get a piggy and he'll come steal all your loot away. Now you can do this, I think, 1 time a day, or you can pay more gems to do it more often, but you gotta be careful, right? If you want to go higher for better rewards, but if a pig shows up and steals your loot, it's going to be troublesome. So, yeah, that's kind of a cool little feature they have there. Thank you again to Rovio Entertainment for sponsoring this video, and now let's move on to how you should spend your UoCs. Alright guys, so we're going to be discussing UoCs today, and why I think it's very important to use them, you know, don't hoard them forever, but definitely use them on units that make your team that much stronger. I know a lot of people, like myself, I have almost 40 UoCs. It only takes 10 to make a unit, so I can make 4 units of anything I want. Not limited time, but 4 units of anything I want to, okay? And I think it's important to eventually actually spend the UoCs. For me as a YouTube content creator, I want to be doing pulls, I want to be having fun, I want to make you guys smile, so that's why my UoCs are kind of been held onto. But I have spent 10 of my UoCs, and that was to make an STMR and to make something more powerful. So for me, that was a choice I made in order to make myself happy. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever pull another Beatrix. I can't remember what it was. I do believe it was a Beatrix. Because there's not going to be any raid-ups I'm going to be looking forward to in the future. So I want that STMR to do yada, yada, yada. So I ended up using it and getting that STMR. Now, do I say you guys should do that out there as free-to-play? No. I think your UoC should be going towards things like a tank. If you don't have a 7-star magic tank or a 7-star physical tank, look at a top meta choice. Try to make that 7-star there. Look for supports next. I think it goes something like tanks, healers, supports, alright, for UoC usage, because essentially damage dealers are a dime a dozen, right? I mean, every other week there's a new damage dealer. They might be a little bit weaker, they might be a little bit stronger. There are only certain times in the meta where damage dealers have gone up, so it went like, you know, everything's normal up to Lightning, and then up to Orlando when chaining became a huge thing, and then it went to Hyo, and then now it's going to Axstar, and then after Axstar, at least now that we've seen in JP, things have kind of plateaued out. There are damage dealers that are much more powerful, but overall things have kind of plateaued out to make it a little bit easier on you, to where you can kind of pick and choose which damage dealers you like and which ones you don't like. Use some of the CG Final Fantasy units, for example, things like that. So you have so many times to maybe get a 7-star version of that or work towards that. I do believe getting your team set up with a support unit, a tank, and a healer are a little bit more important. So if you have UoCs, don't be afraid to spend them on a healer, such as, you know, CG Fina or the new Aerith coming out eventually. I mean, I think that's a great choice. Units like CG Nickel, any kind of breaker like Orin or any breaker in the future that you like, using those UoCs on that are a great investment and something you should be doing to solidify your team, and then after that work towards those damage dealers. We know Axstar is coming out, and yes, Axstar is that much more powerful than the units we have, sometimes even up to double the damage, I mean, or 4 times the damage. He's just so great, and the unit itself is so self-efficient. He does have some turns where he builds up, but every time he uses an ability where it imperils, because he imperils, he imbues, and then he does a lot of damage. Each of those abilities are giving his other abilities you know, a bigger multiplier. He's building up this multiplier until his LB and his chaining ability that make him that much more powerful. But After Axstar, we have a ton of damage dealing units that are also just as strong as Axstar, if not better. Some of them even become better than him. And then units like CG Hyo get enhancements, yada, yada, yada. They start getting on, they're still such as powerful. There's global exclusive units you might want to pull for down the road, such as, or just limited time units that are extremely powerful, like Citan, that are also, on that power scale. So if you get what I'm saying, as far as what you should spend it on, I do believe it's going to be those in order. It's going to be something like a tank, a healer, a support, and then looking at damage dealers. Now, that's just if you're free to play and you want to get the max use of them out of them. The next thing I want to talk about is for the hoarders out there, including myself. I think while they are the most valuable thing I can think of in the game, eventually you got to spend them and have fun. I mean, if there comes a time when you pull in a banner, you only get one of something, for example, CG Sid. If I would have gotten one CG Sid, I would have for sure used my UoC to get the second one. Now, do I think that you should just willy-nilly spend your UoCs? No, I just said that. But I also don't think you should be hoarding them forever. If Axstar comes out, you're looking forward to it, you want to be in the new meta, don't be afraid to spend 20 of your UoCs. I know that'll take you down probably to 10, or maybe even less if you haven't spent any. But remember, we get at least 2 to 3 a month, and as Gumi and Square Enix have shown, they're not afraid to throw them into trials as extra rewards, and if you end up spending a little bit of money, you can get them in bundles. So you will be able to build them back up. You will be able to get back up there to maybe get another unit you want. So don't be afraid to spend your UoCs. I see a lot of people out there who are like, man, I didn't get this unit, I'm so mad, and then they tell me they have 50 UoCs. That's a ridiculous number, but something like that, and I'm like, buddy, just use your UoCs. It's not like you won't get more. I know they are a renewable resource, but it's very hard to get up to 10, but eventually you will. I mean, it takes a while, but how long have you already been playing this game? You know what I mean? And plus, you get lucky on tickets to get what you want anyway. But essentially, I just want to lessen the grip on those UoCs where you hide them forever and never get to enjoy them, because I want to make sure you guys are enjoying the game. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you use your UoCs on, or how many you've saved up like myself. And then subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys in the next video.